Dear Addy, as COVID becomes better managed, I'm looking to travel as the world opens back up. I'm a student, and I might even be applying to study abroad next spring. Either way I make plans, it's going to be my first time traveling internationally as an adult. What should I do to prepare myself for bleeds, treatment, and all of my other bleeding disorder needs? From Timid About Traveling. So, you're getting ready to go abroad. First of all, that's exciting. I hope you get great memories and experiences like the ones you're seeking. There's a lot of things unrelated to bleeding disorders that you might already be thinking about getting ready for traveling, like your travel insurance, your visa, your flight plans, your necessary vaccinations. But if you're stressed about managing specifically your bleeding disorder, here are some notes and tips from people in the bleeding disorder community that might help you out based on their past travels. Keep in mind that everyone's travel plans are a little bit different, so you may have specific things to handle that aren't on these more general guidelines that I've compiled. Here are a few main things to do before traveling no matter what. First, you want to go find some info about where you're traveling and the rules and regulations that might exist there. Air travel especially might have different requirements about needles or carry-on weight limits that are very good to know before you're in that moment. It's another good thing to look up is hemophilia treatment centers in the country that you're visiting. If you go to the World Federation of Hemophilia's website, wfh.org, they have a global directory of hemophilia treatment centers that is really useful. And then if you're studying abroad, contact your host school's health center and let them know that you're coming and tell them about your diagnosis. They're a useful resource, and in case of a bleed, they may come in really handy, or even if you just need to store your factor somewhere cold. Also contact your local or your nearby hemophilia treatment center and tell them about your plans. They might have insight about your destination, and they may also help you draft a travel letter, which is really useful and important. The travel letter can help you going through customs and airports, and hopefully that's all you need it, but if you have a bleed, it will be useful then too. If your destination might include language barriers, it's a good idea to get your travel letter put into all of the languages that you might need it in, and your HTC can be a resource for that sometimes as well. So before you travel, if you do your research about where you're going, what you can expect for hemophilia support in that place, and then prepare your travel letter, you're on the right path. During your travel, prepare to carry and manage your own supplies. And there are really three main things that I think of that are important to have accessible at all times. The first of which is your factor and the associated infusion supplies. It's not a bad idea to overpack, because sometimes having a backup tourniquet or a good extra ACE wrap when you bleed abroad can be key. When you're traveling by air, make sure not to put your factor in a checked bag where it can freeze or get lost very easily. Keep it with you in your carry-on, and don't even be afraid to split up your factor between your carry-on and your personal bag. Some people do this so that if one is stolen, not all of their factor is in one basket. So if you have your factor, also have your medical and diagnosis and contact info on a sheet of paper. This can be quite useful, and it's not a bad idea to pass this on to someone you're traveling with, or a copy of it as well. And then third of all, your travel letter. That's just good to have at all times to explain your factor in any situation and every situation. If you have these three things while you travel, you'll be prepared for almost every scenario. As a general principle, travel prepared supplies-wise and travel prepared mentally. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself in case of a bleed. Many people are unfamiliar with bleeding disorders, and you might be your best advocate if one happens. Listen to your body as you travel as well. If things feel wrong, play it safe. Remember, to maximize your experiences, you gotta minimize your bleeds. And then when you travel in a group, if possible, it's good to try and feel like you have someone there that you could trust in case of a bleed that you can go to. Beyond all of that, surrounding your entire travel plan, I want you to remember that you are in control of your bleeding disorder, not the other way around. And if you plan well, your travel can be an unforgettably amazing part of your life. Additional resources for your travel preparation can be found with your local treatment center, the CDC, the National Hemophilia Foundation, the World Federation of Hemophilia, and us at the Hemophilia Federation of America. Thank you.